hand in hand. Some of us with the blueprint, wisdom in the flow. Keep it simple, keep it steady, let the people grow. We build a vibe, we build a tribe, community's the fire, keeping us alive. From 0 to 10K, let the revenue rise. Alex Hormozy said the value never lies.
What's up?
We build a tribe, community's the fire, keeping us alive.
That thing just does not want to slide down.
It's not easy, is it, man? It doesn't want to just like fade out.
What's up, everybody? Most people completely miss this one thing that makes building a profitable community 10 times faster. There's one foundational asset that you can create one time, and once you do, you can leverage it forever. So the problem is 99% of the people building communities skip this step completely, and that's exactly why I believe a lot of them struggle. So because without this, you're basically just winging everything. But with it, it's like you have a blueprint that tells you exactly what to do at every step. You gain complete clarity around everything in your business. You creating irresistible offers becomes a whole lot faster and easier. Creating content just writes itself. And today, Jeff and I are going to share you exactly what this asset is, how you can create it for your own community. Then I'm going to show you exactly how we use this exact asset with AI to grow and monetize our communities 10 times faster. So trust me, this is the kind of thing that is going to completely change your business. So stick around to the end because it's going to be a really key piece. It's very simple, but once you create this thing, it opens up a lot of doors. And I'm going to show you exactly how that happens. Okay. All right. What's up, Jeff? Say hey, everybody.
Hello, everybody. Man, you guys are in for a beautiful treat today because this is a foundational principle that you absolutely positively want to basically start doing in your business if you don't already. So I'm not going to give it away. It's going to be secret for the next few minutes, but I'll tell you, definitely don't want to miss it. So hang around and most importantly, implement it. So go ahead.
Yeah. And some of you might have it, but we'll get into it. So as far as Go High Level community updates, didn't see anything this week. Did you see anything come out?
No, I didn't notice anything with GHL this week.
I did see a video that a guy did where he was using content AI, which is High Level's like internal AI content creation tool. It's very limited. I don't really love it. So, but he was creating content with it, and then you can do that in the social planner to schedule those out. But I don't really love their AI content creator. I'd rather use something like Claude or ChatGPT. So check it out if you're interested in that kind of thing. But with Skool, there's really no new updates. The same things they've talked about the past couple of weeks in the Skool news. You've got subscription and tiers coming out in like mid-October. Skool webinars is probably going to come out even sooner, and that's basically just where a lot of times, if anybody's been on the live Skool live streaming or whatever it's called, when people come in, it's really hard to mute everybody. So with a webinar, everybody's just muted except for the person like presenting, and then they can bring people on the stage if they want to. So that's the kind of the main difference. And then my favorite thing that's coming out, and I think it's going to be probably a couple of months before this comes out, is the advanced analytics. And that's going to be awesome. It's going to tell you, exactly where your traffic's coming from and then how that traffic's actually performing. So you can really dial in where your marketing's coming from. Anything that you heard, anything new this week for yourself?
No, that was mainly it. I will say that the webinar thing I'm pretty excited about just because we went live last week using Skool, which was great. But we had some of that where people were coming in, their mics weren't muted. So we kind of had to ask people multiple times. So, it's funny because you don't realize how valuable a feature is until you do the same thing without that feature. And you're like, oh, wow, that's pretty handy. Because we typically use Zoom, and inside of there, we're able to go in and mute people kind of manually. So I'm kind of excited about that Skool webinar thing. And I think you're right. I think he said like any day now. So definitely a game changer. Good stuff.
Well, and I think that's a great example for us as community builders that, put your MVP version out and then get the feedback from your clients to improve it. I mean, that's a great example of like what we talk about as far as like selling first, building with your audience, and then getting the feedback to improve the products. That's just, a little nugget there, Jeff.
It's good stuff.
All right, cool. So let's talk about what happened this week in Elite. Okay, so Elite is our paid community. If you guys don't know about that, yesterday we actually kicked off our week 1 of our 10K community boot camp. Let me share my screen real quick, Jeff. And so what is our 10K community boot camp? Well, this is like an 8-week workshop based intensive where our members work alongside myself and Jeff to personally execute this blueprint. This is our 4-phase 10K community blueprint. And so we are basically taking our clients, our members through this over the next 8 weeks in like 8 weeks of workshop. So we'll jump in, we'll have a day where we just implement a single step in the process. And by the end of the 8 weeks, we've got this entire system built. So it's pretty cool. I'll show you kind of what this looks like. So each week, our members have pre-recorded training, and then we have a live session where it's like implementing what they've learned. They can implement before with the pre-recorded stuff, but then I'm on there helping them implement and answering questions on the live session. So it's pretty cool. Also, we're actually running a contest where, if you're engaged in the process, if you're taking the action steps at the end of and getting your homework done, you can actually win. There's up to $800 in prizes. So pretty awesome. And this week we actually, and it's not too late to join, by the way, guys. If you're interested in that, we'll drop a link in the description so you can join. You have to be an annual member to get access to the boot camp, but we just got started. It's not too late. And by the end of it, you're going to have a complete 10K community system built. It's not a promise or a guarantee of results. You got to do the work, but you'll have everything you need to do that. And so this week, we actually started by helping our members create the exact asset that we're going to be talking about today. So that's pretty cool. We'll get into that in a little bit. What's coming? Anything to add from you, Jeff? Let me go back to
the only thing I would say, is I know we call it the 10K community blueprint, right? And I know sometimes people have asked, it's like, why do you call it the 10K community blueprint? So let's kind of maybe share a little bit more. Like, we believe that you should build a lifestyle business that works for you. So for somebody living maybe in Portugal or Thailand, for them, it might be a goal of $2,000 a month. You might have somebody in California or New York, and they need to make 20 grand a month. The beauty of what, really, Ron, you put the nuts and bolts of this together, is that it's a very scalable system to help you reach your goals. Again, no promises. You got to do the work.
Right.
But we call it the 10K community blueprint because in helping thousands and thousands of people online, they always say, if I could only make 10 grand a month. So for some reason, that's like the target. So we call it that. Yeah. But the reality is it's very scalable. It's really going to get to the number you want it to be if you're willing to do the work. So I would just say if you're not a member of Elite, definitely check it out. And you definitely want to do the bootcamp because this is a step-by-step approach to make things happen, actually get the work done. And I think that's why we get so much amazing feedback from it.
Yeah, I love it because people actually get stuff done. That's my favorite thing. So next week in the 10K community bootcamp, we're going to be helping our members craft an irresistible offer. So if your offer sucks, it's going to be very, very hard for you to make money in any business, right? So a lot of people struggle because they don't really know how to add value to their products and services, how to package that up and make it irresistible. And so they just end up selling commodity and looking like everybody else out there. And that's really hard to make it work. Okay. And so next week, and I believe that knowing how to create irresistible offers is probably one of the most valuable skills that you can learn if you're serious about making money online. Because your offer is everything. If you have a shitty offer, you're probably going to struggle pretty much. Okay. And then next week, we're going to be basically using some AI tools that we've created. We'll show you one of those today. That's going to help people take the thing that we're going to be talking about today, and then turning that into an irresistible offer. And by the end of next week, our bootcamp members are going to be experts at creating irresistible offers. So that's pretty exciting because I honestly do believe that is such a valuable skill. Any feedback there, Joe?
I just look at Alex Ramosi. I think that when his first book was wasn't that Offers? Wasn't that his first book?
Yeah. Yes, it's the first one that came out, but yeah.
I'm just saying it's the first one that came out.
Yes.
Right? Obviously, Offers is pretty key. I mean, of all the books that he could have put out and all of his knowledge, he put out Offers first because at the end of the day, it starts with having an amazing offer. So
yeah, exactly. All right. You ready to get into the discussion and finally reveal what this is?
Yeah, where's the drum roll, man?
Now, it's probably not going to be as exciting as people.
I know, exactly.
So this is the product roadmap is what we're going to talk about today. Okay. So this is basically, let me go into, so one of the key things to understand about starting a business online is that most every business essentially is built to solve problems, right? Now, there's probably some cases out there where that is not true, but universally, for the most part, solving problems is how you create good businesses. And so what you're looking at here is a simple formula. It's a positioning statement that comes from, like you mentioned, Alex Hermosi's $100 million offer book. Oh, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I see you want to share your screen.
I do that all the time. All right. So what you're looking at here is a positioning statement. This comes from Alex Hermosi's $100 million offers. And so this statement kind of helps you clearly define who you help, the problem that you help them solve, and then how your offer solves that person, that ideal avatar's problems in a unique way. Okay. So here's the statement. I help unique avatar. So that's your ideal customer, solve a specific problem. So really understanding the problem that you're going to help people solve, and then in a unique way. And that's what we're going to talk about today that reverses their biggest objection. So now, hopefully most of you guys that are watching this, you kind of already have your niche and understand the problem that you solve and who you help solve. If not, we've got some training in our free community that can help you with that. But the first thing that we want to do is, if we're going to kind of map out the unique way that we help people solve problems, is we really need to understand the transformation that they're looking for. So the first thing that we get people to do is to get really clear on, first of all, that problem that they help solve. And that's the before state. That's where they're experiencing a problem that they want to solve, right? And then if we understand the problem, for me, for example, the problem we help people solve is coaches and course creators are struggling to consistently get clients and make sales so they can create a stable income and grow their business. Okay. So that's just a very simple version. Now, if I want to understand what the transformation is and what they're after, then I just kind of flip that on its head and say the opposite. So after they go through our program, they're going to have a predictable client acquisition system that's going to help them consistently bring in new clients every single month so they can have a stable income and grow and build a lifestyle business. Okay. So that's the transformation. What is the problem that they're currently experiencing? And then what is the transformation that they want to get to? Okay. Now, once you understand where they are, their before state, and then you understand where they want to go, there's a gap between those two states, right? And so your process is the step-by-step, or your product roadmap is what we call it. It could be called transformational process or whatever you want to call it, but we call it product roadmap, is the step-by-step process that this person must go through from having that problem that they want to solve all the way to the transformation. They have to go through a series of steps to do that. And so that is what we believe is probably one of the most important assets that you're ever going to build in your business. And I'm going to prove that to you here a little bit later. Okay. So what we do, this is the first step that we get everybody in our program to do, is to map out their process, because once you have this document, there's so many things you can do with it. So let's talk about the goal of this product roadmap. So the goal of product roadmap is, first of all, it gives your offer structure. And we'll show you that in just a second. It's really hard to create an offer if you really don't understand how you deliver what you're delivering, how you give people the transformation that they're after. Okay. So it gives your offer structure. It helps your potential clients visualize that you actually have an offer that will help them reach their desired outcome. So if you can show your customers that you have a defined path that they can follow to get the result that they're after, they're going to trust you a whole lot more and potentially buy from you. Okay. Also, once you have that visual version of the product roadmap, you can appeal to the logical side of the brain, which helps people make decisions. And then finally, it creates a foundation for all of your marketing and sales assets that you'll ever create. And I'll also prove that to you in a second. So let me show you what a final version of a product roadmap. This is our product roadmap. And so this is a document essentially. And basically, once we have this, we have a document that we can use with AI to create everything a whole lot faster and easier. Okay. So let me go back to my little document here so I can keep my notes going. Give me 1 second here, guys. Okay. So that is the product roadmap. Okay. So once you have this product roadmap built, you can use it to create offers. Let me show you the visual version of this. It's a little bit easier to look at. So once we have the actual written document, you can use this to create your offers a whole lot faster. You can use it to create YouTube videos, emails, lead magnets, workshops, webinars. Everything becomes a whole lot easier. We even use this in our sales process when we jump on sales calls. So again, that we can show people that we have a logical path to help them to get their desired outcome, which for us is that 10K community blueprint, right? That's kind of what people are after. And so I used this same product roadmap in my most recent webinar, and that generated just under 30K. We did it twice, and that generated over just under 30K in about the span of 3 weeks. So this stuff works really well when you can show people that you have a clear path. All right. It also becomes, like I said, a key to streamlining everything in your business, your marketing, your sales, everything. Now, I'm going to show you what becomes possible once you have this product roadmap, when you combine it with AI. So I showed you the document. Now I'm going to show you what you can actually do with this product roadmap and AI, because when you're using this with AI, when you can give this to AI, you're giving it context around your business so that it can fully understand exactly what you do. And it's not just pulling out information from thin air. It knows how you help people and the steps that you take people through in your process. Now, before we get into some of these AI tools, Jeff, anything to kind of jump in there?
Well, I mean, what I'm going to say is that the reason we use that visual, asset is because if you think about 55% of people are visual. Okay. So having something that maps it out very clearly from kind of start to finish, I think that just really, it makes the sales process easier, because people can see that you have a real plan. It's something that's together. Obviously, we have the document version for the people that are kind of more, they just want to read through it. So I think that, again, you're showing that as a good example. Is it required? No. But again, it's just a good asset to have to help people, understand that you have a process. Like, I like to call it a gap, right? You're helping people basically bridge a gap. And ultimately, your solution, like what you help people do, the results you help people get, solving that problem is your roadmap. And so having a visual asset like that is really powerful. And it shows people that you truly can help them bridge that gap. So I'd highly recommend everybody, at least jump into our free community and get a chance to see our roadmap and kind of take some best practices from it. So
yeah. So what we've actually done for our elite members is we've actually created a bunch of AI tools that can be used with their product roadmap to help them to create all kinds of that stuff. So let me just go through our product roadmap and I'll show you some of the tools that we've developed that uses the product roadmap to do this step in the process a whole lot faster and easier. So next week, what we're talking about again is creating an irresistible offer. So we've actually developed a tool that will take our product roadmap. So basically what I've done, I didn't want to go through the whole thing because there's some conversation, back and forth conversation that happens.
Want to share your screen?
Oh, sorry. Damn it. All right. So this is our offer creation consultant. And so people in our boot camp actually can set this project up for themselves. And so basically what we do is we come in here, here's my program. Can you help me create an offer? We paste it in the product roadmap. And then it asked me a few questions. I came down here and I answered those questions. And then it starts to consult with me to create an irresistible offer. Okay. Now, I just went through this really quickly and I didn't have the back and forth conversation, but I could if I wanted to. So basically, it will help you to build out your big, bold promise. It'll help you to come up with your unique mechanism. It'll basically help you understand. This all comes from Alex Hormozi's like $100 million offer book. So it's basically trained on how to create great offers. It helps you to map out like your deliverables. It helps you to come up with objection crushers. So that's going to be stuff that you can use in your content. And then at the end, I won't go through everything, but it builds out a one-page document that basically gives the structure of your offer. So this thing will help you to create your offer in like 10 minutes. And it's all trained on our specific frameworks on how to do that. So that's next week what we're doing. And then week 4, I think, is creating the free course in your community. So a lot of people struggle with, hey, what do I put in my free community? And then what they end up doing is they just fill it with all this great content that's like super valuable. And the problem with that is first of all, we all know that less than 10% of people who actually pay for a course go through and consume that entire thing. So you can imagine that number drops significantly when you're talking about a free community. So first of all, your people, your free members probably aren't even going to consume that content. And that content is really doing you a disservice, because if you have hours and hours of content in your free community, people feel like they can just sit inside that free community and consume that content. They want to finish that first before they think about converting and upgrading. So what we teach is creating a free course that is essentially a webinar. Now, there's still tons of value in that, but you're doing high-level teaching, right? And then you're showing all the cool things in your program that help them to execute that thing faster. It's kind of like what we're doing here, to be quite honest. But what we've also developed for this is we've created a webinar script writer that basically will take the product roadmap and then we'll write the script, and it's trained to write the webinar scripts the way that we want it to write. So I'm just going to do this live. I paste it in our product roadmap. I say, can you review my program and help me write a high converting webinar script formatted so that I can simply copy and paste it into Canva quickly to create my slides. I'm going to click go, and then that's going to, while that's writing the webinar, we're going to go and we'll talk about the next tool. Okay. So that's kind of like our launch process. And we did that in what, 20 minutes, Jeff?
Oh yeah. That's so fun.
So now let's talk about traffic, because everybody kind of wants to know how do you get traffic? So with the product roadmap, one of the things that we tell people is I like to start with long form piece of content, and then from there we can repurpose that into shorter form pieces of content. So what we really like, and one of our favorite channels, one of our best channels, is YouTube. So with YouTube, you can start with that long form piece of content that goes on YouTube, and then you can turn that into short form. You can, rewrite the script with AI and turn it into short form video. You can turn it into written posts for LinkedIn or Facebook. So there's lots of things that you can do from that longer form piece of content. But the first thing that you got to do is you got to come up with ideas for your content. All right. So check this out. So inside of our paid community, we show people how to set up this YouTube video idea consultant that is trained on your product roadmap. So we upload the product roadmap as the knowledge base. That we show you how to do that in the Community Builders Elite. But basically what I can come in here, I can say, can you combine my knowledge base, which is that product roadmap, along with your online research, and help me come up with 10 awesome topics for YouTube videos I can create this month. And so it gave me a bunch of different topics, but let's just do this and say, hey, can you help? Because a lot of people struggle with coming up with content ideas, right? And this is going to pull content ideas from your product roadmap. So it is trained on your product roadmap specifically, so it knows how to kind of look through that and find good ideas. So can you help me come up with 10 more new YouTube video ideas? Okay. So that's going to help me to come up with some more video. Let's check in on our webinar script. Jeff, you want to do that?
Yeah.
So I'll go back to my webinar script here. Let's see. So it's going to ask me some more questions. Please write the script. I will plug in. Please, let's see, review my product roadmap for all the details, and I will plug in testimonials and credentials later. Okay. All right. So let's go back to our YouTube content strategist. All right. So let's see. So these are the new ones. All right. So first one here is how I book 60 plus sales calls per month without paid ads, community funnel breakdown. I love that because people struggle to book calls. So that's going to be a good one. Pricing your community, why I charge X and you should charge more. Why I don't really understand that one. How to get your first 100 members in just 30 days. That's a great free traffic method. Love that. Lead magnets that are actually convert, my 10K community strategy. I like that one because a lot of people don't understand how to grow your community. I replaced my 50K course with a simple webinar. Here's why it worked better. So that's kind of like talking about what I just talked about with the webinar strategy versus these big elaborate courses. The product roadmap that may be $800,000, my secret planning tool. I like that one. We're talking about that right now. I tried every community platform. Here's the brutal truth. So these are all pulling ideas from my product roadmap that's specifically about my program. Let's go back to our webinar script. Okay, here's the script. So basically what this does is it gives you the slide, the text that goes on the slide, and then it also gives you the speaker notes. So it gives you the exact script. And so this is a full webinar that's trained on our specific structure of writing webinar scripts. And so you can take this, and we found another tool called GenSpark that you can take this script, you can upload it to GenSpark, and it will actually build all the slides out for you. And then let me show you one final tool that we've built for that can also use the product roadmap. So basically this tool will help us come up with lead magnet ideas, workshop ideas, or challenge ideas. And so this tool will take our product roadmap, help us brainstorm different ideas. It will actually help us create whatever that is and plan it out and add value to it. It'll write the email copy to promote it. It'll write the ads that promote it. And you can do this in like 20 minutes. So all of this, let me just show you. So this is basically, it asks some questions. I come in here, I paste in one of my phases of my product roadmap. And then it comes back and it says, basically, here's some ideas, quick win offer options. So community launch checklist, we've actually created that as a lead magnet, and it does really, really well. Founding member offer swipe. So this is help you to create your founding member offer. Also a good idea. 2-day webinar launch mini training. And then I can just continue to ask for new ideas. So basically it recommended one, which was the founding member offer swipe. But I went in and said, hey, I already have I want to focus on creating a workshop. So that was like the first step is going to try to create a lead magnet. And then I can tell it, hey, I would rather do a workshop. Let's do a workshop. So now it's shifting to a workshop. And so now it's coming up, and I said around helping people launch their community. So I want to do a workshop around helping people launch their communities. So now it's going to help me to start planning this out. So the title options, so launch your paid community in 7 days without a course first. The 48-hour community launch workshop, validate your idea with paying members fast. I kind of like that one. From idea to income, how to get your first paying members without spending months preparing. I like number 2. And then it starts to help me to plan out the structure of the presentation, okay? Then it comes up with some pricing ideas and strategy, and then it talks about how we're going to launch it. And then I said, I like number 2, but it's not getting paying members but it's not to get paying members. It's to launch their free community and get their first 100 members. So I'm just having that back and forth consultation. So it changed the title here, and it still has the structure, pricing, all that. Let's go with number 1. And then it started to help me to plan out my sales page copy. Okay. So step 1 is coming up my step 2. It's going to help me with first of all, it's going to write my sales page copy. Then it's going to write my email launch sequence. Then it's going to write my ad copy. And then, so it came up with the sales page copy. So check this out. Coaches and course creators struggling to grow an audience, launch your free community and get your first 100 members in just 48 hours, even if you're starting from 0. A simple step-by-step workshop to launch your community fast without tech overwhelm, paid ads, or endless content creation. You've probably thought about starting a community before, but you get stuck overthinking it. The step setup, you worry about not having enough content first, or worse, you spend months preparing only to launch to crickets. So this is writing my whole sales copy and the funnel, the order bump and everything. Then it's building my actual email sequence. So like a teaser validation post, which is what we do, what we teach. And then the validation email, and then additional emails to promote it. And then it will actually write the copy. So anyway, basically what I'm saying is that once you have this product roadmap, everything else in the business becomes a whole lot easier. We just wrote a webinar script. We just came up with a bunch of YouTube video ideas. We just planned out a workshop and basically created all the assets to run that workshop. And we couldn't have done that without the product roadmap. So that is our spiel, and that is the key resource that we've been talking about. Jeff, anything to add to that?
I mean, first of all, you guys, just to understand that this, if somebody was to start from scratch and you had the copywriting ability and you were a good copywriter and you tried to do everything that he just showed you that in the last 10 minutes and had to do all that, I don't even know how many hours or days or weeks it would take to actually create that, which was literally done because a roadmap was in place that obviously works. And then from there, these AI tools that we have in Elite, I mean, your whole thing is built and done in an hour compared to days, weeks. I mean, I would just figure out how much time have you spent either trying to develop a masterclass or webinar? How much time have you spent trying to come up with ad ideas? YouTube ideas, and just that alone is every reason why you should be checking out what we do in Elite, because that is insane what you just did in 10 minutes. So
yeah. Oh, and by the way, if you have trouble with the product roadmap, we got something for that too. So this is another GPT that we've created because we have this manual exercise and it's great. It works really well. But a lot of times when people look at a page and they have to answer a bunch of questions, it just feels overwhelming and you maybe get started on it and then you get tired and then you quit. I figured out that it's much easier to just have a back and forth conversation with people asking you a question. So we built a custom GPT that will actually interview you on your process and then help you build this product roadmap. So check this out, Jeff. So this is our custom GPT that allows you to do that. So I'm going to click on interview mode. Can you help me build my product roadmap, please? Yeah, so basically I won't bore everybody with the full going through and build my entire product roadmap. If you'd like to see that, let me know and we'll do it. But yeah, so that will interview you on the process, help you build out your product roadmap. And that's just another tool that we've added that makes that process faster because, it's a boring thing to do the product roadmap, honestly. But it's so you can see how important it is. And I honestly believe it's just one of the most important assets that you will ever create in your entire business. Yeah, send me a message, whoever that is, and I will send you the link in Skool. Send me a message in Skool. All right, Jeff, anything to end it on today?
I would just say, guys, I mean, I hope that at this point, you guys should absolutely believe and know that it starts with your roadmap. So I would say your next best move for you is to check out your roadmap and get one done. If you don't have it, if you have one, refine it, and then jump into Elite so you can get all the tools that we have to help you basically build it all. Yeah, and we'll drop a link in the description so you guys can check that out if you're interested. If you want to join the boot camp, which is awesome, it's just upgrade to annual. All right. Well, that is it for the day. Hopefully, guys, we'll start to build out your product roadmaps. Would love to see what those are in our free community. And yeah, love to start seeing some boot camp, some roadmaps being posted. All right, guys. So thank y'all for joining us today. And we will see you guys next week. Same time, same channel. See y'all. See you guys.